What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another Star Citizen Bounty Hunter's Guide. I am recording this literally right after my ship recommendation video, and as you can see, we are still in the Aegis Vanguard Sentinel. I will point out again that this is one of my most recommended ships out of any ship in the game for PvE bounty hunting because it is an absolute workhorse. The Vanguard series are just absolute workhorses of ships. They really are. And I would recommend going with the Sentinel or the Harbinger because they are the two cheapest Vanguards to buy in-game at just over 2 million Alpha UVC. So that's all I'm really going to talk about of them in this video. Today, we are going to grab our MRT cert to show you guys what to expect from moderate risk targets, medium risk targets, moderate risk targets, same thing. And I believe also we start group warrants in this one as well. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do... Actually, you know what? I'll do a separate video for group bounties. So in this one, we are just going to focus on MRTs, show you guys what to expect from MRTs, and then we'll move on from there. So again, we do have to pay a fee of 2,500 Alpha UVC to get this certification. No big deal. We're going to grab it. Because if you want to do MRTs, you got to do it. And then again, remember, always grab call to arms. That extra Alpha UVC that you can get while having call to arms can make a big difference, even though it doesn't really seem like it. Now, is it going to populate? Come on, call to arms. Come on. Whatever, it'll populate here in a second. So we are going to grab our MRT, or go to our MRT, and show you guys how the Vanguard can really shred through bounties, especially lower tier bounties like MRTs and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to MRTs, this is when you start seeing bigger ships, like medium-sized ships like Cuddies, freelancers, and other things like that. You definitely do see more targets than you normally would in LRTs or VLRTs. You'll start getting 3, maybe 4. But 9 times out of 10, it usually is about 3, and that's pretty much across the board for all bounties. But sometimes I've come across bounties where, like, they've been crossed with another person's bounty, so I'm having like 6 to 8 targets at one time. It's crazy. But the majority of the time, the most you're really gonna deal with are about 3, maybe 4. Let's see. So right there, we have a Hornet, a Buccaneer. Buccaneers can be really tedious. They like to have shotguns and like to joust the living hell out of you. And then we have an Aegis Saber. So this seems pretty tame for an MRT at least. So we are gonna actually take on the Buccaneer first. I mean, because he gets the most annoying. Notch those missiles. I believe, oh, he's acting.
Here you go.
He is strafing backwards the entire time. And then boom, there goes the Buccaneer. Take on this Hornet. We'll show off some missiles here. So stock missile loadouts. We got 4 size 2 Dominators. We got 4 size 2 Ignite 2s. And we have 4 size 3 Arrestor 3s. But since it's a Hornet, we will go to just size 2s. Well, it shows they did kind of blow by him here a little bit. And he flared him off. That's fine. Boom. Hornet down. A lot faster than the last Hornet in the last video. And then we got the Saber, which he is not going to like me here in a second. I'm gonna get a clear shot on him. Ooh, I forgot to put my power management. Always make sure your power management, because I had that on shields and my weapons could not charge. But then, boom, the saber is down. So again, just to reiterate my recommendation for the Vanguard, this thing is an absolute workhorse and can get shit done. So now that we have the MRT certification done, once things populate, we should have two new things. We should obviously have this that says MRT, and we should also have something called the Pro Tem group certification or bounty or something. All right, since new contracts have populated, again, we have our MRT bounty issued for Yogan Khan. These names do change. Like, so don't worry about the name, don't worry about what this says, just look for the parentheses for MRTs, which are again moderate risk or medium risk targets. Also, we have the Pro Tem group warrant contract. That is a certification to allow you to do group bounties where you would take on 3 different targets within a certain amount of time, and it's a very, very, very generous amount of time. It's about 45 minutes. Trust me, you will not be out that long unless you get really messed up. But I will cover the group warrant and the group bounties in a different video. Today is just for MRTs. So we are going to grab the standard MRT just to show off again that what to expect from these. And if we look at that at the VLRT, we make $4 grand from the VLRT. The LRT we make $5 grand, and now MRTs we make 7,500. I also want to point out before we move forward that as you are doing bounties in a certain planetary system, whether it's Crusader, Microtech, ArcCorp, or Hurston, you actually get bonuses from like Crusader Security or Hurston Security or Microtech, blah blah blah, you know, because while you're doing bounties, let's say around Crusader, you're also working up your Crusader Security reputation just as much as you are doing your Bounty Hunters Guild. So I see that we are tier 3 at Bounty Hunters Guild. That gave us access to MRTs. We are also at tier 2 for Crusader Security, and these will go up as you do it in like Hurston Crusader, ArcCorp, Microtech, stuff like that. And once you start getting these higher, you actually get payment bonuses for these contracts. So like here at tier 3 at Crusader Security, you get a 5% payment bonus. And you move up, you get 10%, 15%, and then 20%. Once you're at tier 6 for whatever planetary security that you prefer, if you prefer doing Microtech, Crusader, or whatever, you actually can make 20% more than what these contracts actually pay out, along with your call to arms bonus that you get 500 per target. So I just want to point that out really fast. I'm not going to do the math because math hard. I can't math all that well. But I wanted to point out that if you focus on a single planetary system, you can actually make a good chunk of bonus money there. So now we are going to grab that standard MRT. And again, it is probably... Oh no, it's at Selin. Thank God. Yella sucks, especially in the asteroid fields. But we are going to jump over, grab our standard MRT, just to, again, for sake of consistency, and then wrap things up from there. All right, now we are above Selin, and I wanted to take this opportunity to show you guys a good example of how sometimes bounties aren't directly over a marker or a location on a moon or a planet. So if I turn around here, you can see, now this isn't the worst case scenario, trust me, they've been farther, but we're actually about 56k out when we normally jump out between 35 and 20k away from the target near the location. So sometimes these can be vast. Like there has been times where I couldn't get any closer than 400 to 500 kilometers away, and you just got a truck. Or try to find some tricks, like try to drop out of quantum early or something like that, which I don't like really doing. It seems more tedious than it should be, so I don't necessarily do that. I just kind of suck it up and fly the distance. So I wanted to show just flying the distance, especially since this one isn't horrible. You can still truck about 50k pretty quickly. It's when it gets to about 100, 120, 200, 300, 400, you know, those flights can take a little bit, but like I said, I just kind of suck it up. But I mean, if you want to get fancy with it, try to drop out of quantum, by all means, try it. So I think for this, we are going to open up with some size 3 arrestor 3s and see if we can get a good missile lock on somebody. I'm assuming at least this one is going to have a Cuddy Black. If it doesn't, I'm going to be upset. But you should expect some ships. Oh, it looks like we might actually have a player helping us with this bounty. That blue chevron right there is a player. So we got a bunch of different bounties. We got Avenger Stalker, Buccaneer, second Avenger Stalker. We got 3 Avengers and a Buccaneer. So let's do a flyby really fast, and we'll whip our booty around. Now this thing got a big booty, but she flies very, very, very well. Or I'm able to whip it around pretty quickly. Let's burst down this target just to get paid. Boom, Buccaneer down. It looks like our bounty is going after this player ship, which is unfortunate. So let's try to help him out here.
Have fun with that.
So if you're also wondering about the Vanguard Sentinel, where I have a square next to my weapons that is red, that is an EMP. The Sentinel has an EMP that you can utilize for bounties that also help out quite a lot. I've kind of grown out of using it, but it's still there as an option. The Harbinger, which I should have talked about in the last video, has access to size 5 torpedoes, which you can pretty much blast these targets down really quickly with those size 5 torpedoes. But I want to focus on the guns. That's why I didn't really bring it up in the previous video. So now we only have, looks like we only have 1 target remaining. We had 3 Avengers and a Buccaneer. So you can go on MRTs, you can have either from small ships to medium-sized ships. It just happened to be all small ships. And now look at this. This thing is at soft death, and he is just spinning and falling. And we're going to burst him down, put him out of his misery, and boom. But like I said, the Vanguard is a workhorse. So yeah, unfortunately, we did not get any Cuddy Blacks or medium-sized ships in this bounty, or for this like little viewing of MRTs. But I will point out that we do get any of the ships that we had on VLRTs or LRTs up to medium-sized ships like Cuddy Blacks and Freelancers and MRTs. And once we start getting higher up on HRTs and VHRTs, we see a lot of more medium-sized ships and ships with a lot more firepower. But that is what you should expect from an MRT. MRTs are honestly kind of my favorites to do, just because you can fight such a variety of ships in this, in this tier, where it kind of keeps them a little fresh. Once you get up to HRTs and VHRTs, they become pretty predictable. But I will point that out once we get up there. So I'm going to grind out this reputation so we can get up to HRTs. And that one's going to take me, it's probably going to take me a little bit, you know, especially from HRTs to VHRTs. But see, we got a little bit of progression there. We also have a little bit of progression at Crusader Security. So I'm going to grind out these MRTs so I can get out the HRT video for you guys. But I hope you guys found this video enjoyable and helpful. If you did, go ahead, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video and around the verse. Alrighty, have a good one.